Let's head down now to Taylor as we get ready for our next group action.
Thanks, Johnny. It's a little bit loud down here. I've got these IMSA cars lined up, and we just got the 3-minute warning. I'm not going to be able to talk to many of these drivers, but I wanted to just give you a nice close look. Obviously, what a color out on the track. You can't miss this one, but a name you might know. Zach Brown is behind the wheel of this stunning Ford Capri. Zach, if I could just get a quick word for you, how is it going out on this track and this awesome Ford Capri?
So far, so good, but first race of the day, so it should be fun. The quick cars in front of me.
Awesome. Well, best of luck. Have some fun out there, Zach. Be sure you guys check it out. What an amazing grid for Group 5. Johnny, let's head up to you for some racing as we continue walking down this grid row.
Okay then, here we go. We're about to go racing it again in our next group. As you can see, they're on the pre-grid. And a huge group once again as we get ready to go racing. Group 5 is IMSA GT cars from 72 to 77. And punching away, getting ready to go racing. And this will be a qualifying race. They have 2 races per weekend. This will be their first qualifying race, Group 5, 72 to 77. And we've really got an outstanding set of cars for this. Zach Brown's also taking part. We've been talking about Zach for the last few minutes, of course, he and his McLaren team. He's actually going to be in a 75 Ford Capri, the number 3, so we'll look out for that. Like I said, they have 2 qualifying, or 1 qualifying race and 1 feature race, which is tomorrow. So once again, they'll line up behind the pace car, do a rolling start, get up to speed. We've got Porsches, we've got BMWs, got the old Datsun 240, obviously. And away they go. Beautiful sight and sound here as we get some real beautiful engine sounds. Tell you what, looking out from my commentary position, really starting to fill up here now with the crowds looking at these new and older cars. Just to give you some idea of the cars you're about to see in action. '71, of course, was the IMSA GT Series season, inaugural season, and IMSA GT Championship Auto Racing Series was its official title. It was for Grand Am Tourer style racing cars. Around with the GTO and GTU classes, as well as 4 Trans Am cars in the TO and TU classes. Examples, as we've mentioned, in this IMSA GT 72 to 77 would be BMW, CSLs, and 3.5, 3-litre, and 3.5-litre 3SLs, Corvettes, Camaros, Datsuns. I mentioned a couple of 240Zs out there. Ferrari 365s, Ford Mustang, Lancia, Montecarlo, Porsche 911s and Carrera S's, RS's, as well as 911 Carrera RSRs and IMSA 911. So real interesting group this, and certainly if you're a Porsche fan, these were the days when Porsche really came into their own racing around the world. And in a moment that pace car should come off and out of the way, and we should be racing in the first of our Group 5 races. Pace car is off and we are ready to go racing, and we are led by the 41. That white Porsche of John Hill in the 911 1974 car, pulling way ahead straight away. Beautiful roar as they dive into Andretti curve for the first time, as we hark back to the 70s. There's a beautiful Corvette in about 7th place at the moment. Whoa, and a spin at the front. Oh, and luckily nobody grabs him. But that was a bit of a moment there for our leader. Spinning right out, and that picks up the lead for the 155. The 911 from 1974, there's the 15 of Bradley Briscoe in the 1976 Greenwood Corvette, now leading the way after that spill. Luckily, a spin that did not cause anybody else any trouble. Into the corkscrew they come for the first time then. The 64 is Martin Lauber in a 1975 IMSA GTO. And the field already spreading out here. Out of turn 11 then they come. A host of great IMSA cars, including that CSL BMW. Jimmy Dean Restaurants in the 64. Now that's another side of this that is a very important factor, is that all the liveries that you see are also original, not just the cars, not just the way they are delivered as in their original state. They also try where they can to make sure the liveries are exactly as they were when raced in period. So these are the sponsors that were around back in the day when these guys were racing back in the 70s. And it really was a golden era. It might be the early days of IMSA, but it's a really exciting period because sports car racing was more known perhaps in the Le Mans iterations and in Europe. But IMSA really brought it to the fore here in the United States. And it was just a great period of production racing. And it saw the combination of America, Japan, and Europe going head-to-head. This is that beautiful sound of the Greenwood Corvette from 1976, beautifully painted. As I mentioned, Bradley Briscoe at the front, or in that car, as they head down the corkscrew yet again. Only 12 customer cars were made of that number 15 that you were looking at, that Briscoe is driving. And for a time in the 70s, the Corvette were really not the highest in terms of their notoriety at the time, and the Greenwood brothers brought it back. And there's a car I know and love very well, the Ford. No question, the Ford Capri, the Ford Cortina, great cars of their time, and certainly held their own. Touring cars, as we call them in the UK, but they handled themselves pretty well here in the States as well. And this Capri RS. And it's Zach Brown at the wheel. So not only does he talk the talk, he walks the walk, because yes, he's the CEO of McLaren Formula One, and also of the IndyCar McLaren Arrow team. And the car that Zach's driving is one of only 3 cars built and scored 2 victories out of 2 starts in 1974 European Touring Car Championship. There is that expression, the Touring Car Championship, winning at Hockenheim and Jarama in Spain. The car also won the German Championship race at Zandvoort, driven by Jochen Mass and Rolf Stoltenberg. The last race for the car as a Cologne factory car was at Kyalami in South Africa, where it won its group race, beating all the other GT cars. So there you go. Linked up to 27, that's the Porsche 911 IMSA Nelson Calais from West Palm Beach. And like I said before, this was an era where pretty much these were privateer race cars, or brought to the track by privateers rather than manufacturers, and you almost drove your car to the track, but not quite that. But it really wasn't manufacturer based. It was more a privateer racing era when anyone could bring their car to the track and go head to head with the manufacturers. Of course, some of the manufacturers did come. Chet Taylor leading the way then from Chandler Briscoe. Rob Fuller in third at the moment. Bradley Briscoe in fourth. Zach Brown dropping in fourth. There's the 94 Dave Stone at the wheel of that one. And that's the all-yellow Datsun 260Z from 1973. Great sound as it comes out of the corkscrew. And our first action from Group 5 qualifying. Plenty more to come from Velocity Invitational. Here comes the 41, doing a great job there. The 1974 911, John Hill at the wheel, doing a nice job of overtaking into Andretti and out with the Exxon-sponsored number 41 Porsche. It's amazing. You don't need a lot of paint schemes on a beautiful Porsche to doll it up. It just looks immaculate, fantastic in all white. Windy here at Laguna. Sun yet to show up. Still a bit miffed about that, but not to worry. It'll come. And there's the 54, another Porsche. This time a 1972 911S. Charles Christensen at the wheel. Followed by the 63. Ranson Webster in the 73 911 RSR. So certainly dominated by Porsche, but we've got a Triumph TR8 out there from 1979, and obviously we've mentioned the BMW CSLs. A lovely car, one of my favorites for sure. Growing up, watching those BMW 3.5 CSLs hoon around the touring car tracks of Great Britain and Europe in the day. And of course, the Datsun made so popular and famous by Paul Newman here in the States. And once in his hands, I think he earned 4 national titles, SCCA, racing those particular cars. So the Japanese had a huge impact. And of course, it was a great advertisement to race on Sunday, buy on Monday. You'd win on the track. It did a lot on the sales floor following Monday, having just won at Laguna. We had O'Gara Motorsports in here earlier, talking about marketing their cars here. There's a lovely BMW 103. That's one of those 3.5 CSLs I was mentioning. Thor Johnson at the wheel of this white one from 1974. Remember, this is just their qualifying race. They'll be back out in action again later. Watch the 49, 1974. Ben McGraw, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, putting his Porsche through its paces. And there's one of the Datsuns just approaching the 46 Porsche of David Alvaro from California, 1972 Porsche. It's worth remembering that some of the Japanese entries you're looking at here, like this one, number 3. Was at a time when the Japanese cars were just starting to really make an impact here in the States as racing machines. Typically that number 49 you saw earlier is a good example. And in fact, in 1972, the Datsun president, Mr. Katayama, presented the keys of one of his cars to John Cooper, president of Ontario Motor Speedway, and used it as the official pace car for the 3rd annual California 500, held September 3rd, 1972. 240Z doing its business in 1972, and was used at 33 USAC championship cars around the United States. Chet Taylor then continued to lead at the moment in our Group 5 qualifying race. Chandler Briscoe, Rob Fuller, Bradley Briscoe, Zach Brown in 5th position, Alan Benjamin, who we spoke to earlier in the day. Alan Benjamin out now in the number 61 in his 1975 911 RSR. And there's the 81. Carrie Eisenlaw in the 1969 Porsche 911. What I love about this, if you like, era of, certainly for Porsche, that you really see that the basic Porsche look really did not change from the late 60s through the 70s, and you could almost say up until today. It's a very similar look, a very distinctive look, and I think that's part of not only its ability as a fantastic car to race, but also the look. It's distinctive, everybody knows it, and that's a Randall Smalley in the 77 and another 69, and you really can't tell a great deal of difference between the late 60s and the mid-70s Porsches. And with 2 laps to go, out of turn 4. Tell you what, the car park's packed out now. A lot of fans coming in. Starting to be a big weekend. As we look at the 56. Carl Durkheimer in the 1974 Porsche. And into the corkscrew he comes. Carry Eisenlaw. And we turn to Chet Taylor, who I mentioned second place at the moment in the 1974 IMSA 911. 155 in the purple colours. Now on its final lap here in Group 5. So Chet Taylor continuing to lead. Chandler Briscoe in second place. And the lead car you're looking at, Chet Taylor, was delivered to a well-known racer, Peter Callahan, who raced in SCCA from 68 to 75 with numerous Porsches. Immediately converted the car to RSR spec. Help from Joe Hoffman from the US Porsche Club. Chet Taylor now heading down the hill then, ahead of Chandler Briscoe, Bradley Briscoe in third position. And then Rob Fuller in fourth position, John Hill now fifth. Zach Brown dropping to sixth, just ahead of Alan Benjamin. And there's the checkered flag then to finish our Group 5 qualifying race. Now, I just want to remind you that we will have autograph sessions here at the plaza at 1:30. So please make your way down to the plaza for 1:30. That's in the main view plaza here at the track. Starting to fill up with guests now as we speak. Starting to get some lunch, get ready to go racing again. So that was a good little session there for our latest action from Group 5.